Hi guys. Today I'm going to be sharing some of my K-pop unpopular opinions because I want to get them off my chest. This trend is also never going to die, let's be real. Disclaimer. Everything said in this video is simply my opinion, not a definite fact, so don't get upset if you disagree. This video is also not meant to be used as a forum for sending hate to any of the idols or groups involved. If any of the opinions come off that way, please don't be afraid to call me out. Ignorance is one of the worst qualities someone could have. Now, let's get into it. My first opinion is that I'd like to see you try should not be used as a defense against criticism. For example, when Leah from ITZY was receiving a lot of hate for her dancing ability, a majority of those coming to her defense were saying, "You can't do any better," or "I'd like to see you try and dance before hating." I don't think Leah is a bad dancer at all, and the hate she received was ridiculous, but the reason I think this cannot be used as a defense is because it's literally her job, and other idols' job, to dance and perform, but it isn't mine. Of course I can't do any better, I haven't put in the hours or the hard work like the idols have, but if their entire career is based upon their ability to perform, then it makes sense that they're going to get criticized if they're noticeably the worst. My second opinion is that More and More by Twice was a bop, but it's the album and the music video that make the era disappointing. In terms of the album, all of the songs sound like they belong to different projects, which isn't helped by the fact that Neon wrote Make Me Go for the Feel Special album, and it ruins the vibe for the comeback for me. JYP also teased too much, which made the comeback anticlimactic, and the music video, while pretty, is boring. While I do like girl crush concepts, I actually prefer cuter concepts. And there's nothing wrong with that. When I first got into K-pop, my favorite songs were Candy Pop and Likey because of how they make me feel. I am someone who gets stressed really easily, and cuter songs always help to cheer me up. Speaking of girl crush concepts, I personally believe that preferring girl crush concepts and being a feminist are not mutually exclusive. They are not the same thing. Feminism at its core is about accepting women as they are and gaining gender equality. However, many girl crush stans tend to do the opposite and bring down groups that do cute concepts because they align more with traditional views on femininity, opposed to newer ideals. All this does is put women in a box and then tear them down for existing outside of it, and this is wrong. Just because a group aren't specifically using empowering language or are singing about love doesn't mean that they aren't empowered within themselves. As someone who has more traditional male personality traits, cute concepts have allowed me to embrace my femininity, and acting as though they don't do this is insane, and at its core, it is anti-feminist and I'm not here for it. Let the idols breathe. While I'm on the topic of concepts, I believe that ITZY do not need to change their concept. I would understand if all of their songs sounded the same, but they don't. Similarly, all of their music videos, while holding a similar theme, look completely different. A lot of people also have a problem with their lyrics being similar, but this opinion comes from Western fans. All you have to do is not watch lyric videos or turn your subtitles off. Problem solved. Just enjoy their amazing discography and calm down. My sixth opinion is that I actually quite like Western collabs. Of course it depends on the song, but overall I tend to enjoy them and don't understand the criticism of them. Many people's problem with Western collabs is that they feel like the Western artist is just hopping on the K-pop trend for exposure. If you think of it that way, however, then you also have to criticize the K-pop artist, especially since they probably have more to gain from the collab. For an example, let's use the Truth Hurts remix, a song by Lizzo that features AB6. The original version of Truth Hurts came out in 2017, yet it didn't become popular until 2019, at which point it topped the charts for weeks on end. Call me crazy, but I don't think it's a coincidence that AB6, during their debut year, a time where they could use as much exposure as humanly possible, would collab with one of the biggest artists in the world at the time. While Western artists tend to have much more creative freedom over their careers than K-pop artists do, it is normal in both industries for collabs to be completed as a marketing strategy. It's just business and y'all should stop villainizing Western artists. My next opinion is something I've been wanting to say for a while. Listening to K-pop does not make you a superior being, and certain K-pop stans need to stop acting like it does. Music is just music, and when someone says they don't like K-pop, whatever the reason, it doesn't mean they lack taste, it just means they're different. It's even more annoying because it's the same people that act superior that will skip a Japanese track from their fave because it isn't in Korean. I tend to listen to English versions more than the Korean versions of songs. With the exception of Cat and Dog, which has terrible English lyrics, I just listen to the English versions more. People always say that they can't understand the lyrics or the accents, but I can always understand perfectly. English also isn't usually the idol's first language, so if they don't sound like native speakers, it's because they aren't. My ninth opinion is that Cat and Dog is actually a banger. It's one of my favorite TXT songs, and I'll never understand the weird amount of hate it got. My final opinion is that the way Monster is being promoted is just kind of weird. I love Monster, the song, not the overall album or the music video, which are both kind of boring, but Naughty, the follow-up single, sounded like a generic B-side that could have belonged to any other group, and that weird episode 2 thing where Irene is dancing with herself is just something I didn't understand. I'm kind of confused with SM's management of Red Velvet now because they either don't promote any of their projects outside of the group or they just do way too much. We do not stand trash. Alright guys, I have more opinions, but they didn't feel important enough to share, so I guess that's it from me. I hope you enjoy the video, and don't be afraid to let me know your own opinions in the comments. Thanks for watching.